Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. The subject of the discourse today is universal love based on Karaniya Metta Sutta, Buddha's discourse on universal love. This is the 11th in the series. Today we will give some examples. Last time we spoke about universalization of the thought of love, of unselfish love. How unselfish love can become a powerful tool not only for one's own spiritual development, but for also a large number of others, will be illustrated by these examples that I am going to now present to you all. Now, yesterday we received an email from Tripura. This is a state in India which is ruled by the Communist Party for a long time, and it has been pretty disturbed also for a long time. The belief in violence as opposed to belief in loving kindness. How this belief in violence can create, it can work absolutely havoc in the society, will be illustrated by this particular email information that we received. It's an urgent appeal from a monk who was running a monastic school in this part of Tripura. He had about 180 little boys and young men undergoing the training, and they live on Pindapata and all that. They're quite poor, and they live in a kind of dormitory made of bamboos. And you see the bamboos and leaves, tidy leaves and so on at the top roof. Now, while these young students were in the school, which is in a different building, somebody entered the monastery and burned that dormitory of these young monks. Every bit of that building was completely reduced to ashes. The monks had their belongings, some small petty little things like their robe and their alms bowl, their books and things like that. Now everything was burnt to ashes. And this is done, why? It's a vendetta, political vendetta. The supporters of these monastic schools happen to be supporting some other party, say Congress party. And they were ardent devotees, and they were supporting the school and helping, the school. Now the opposite party, the ruling party, I have already mentioned who are ruling. Now these members, they were not Buddhist also, and they were rather intolerant about these monks running the institution. They were finding fault. They believed in the supremacy of violence. So they just reduced the school and this building completely to ashes, and they were quite happy about it. That they said, yes, we have taught them a good lesson. So this head of the institution, he sent a message here, or all over actually, to us. He said everything is reduced, and he also produced a photograph. In the email itself, he inserted a photograph of how the building was reduced to ashes, and that the monks had absolutely nothing, just one cloth on their body. And they were in the school, that is all that they have got now. So I was thinking, in a world like this, where intolerance and hatred has become so rampant that the value for human values, values that elevate human existence and bring about civilization in the world, all those things are being just destroyed, they are negated. And should people remain a spectator to this? No. They have a weapon. The weapon is that of universal love. How metta, unselfish love, can win over even such destructive people will be now seen from these instances that I am going to quote. So these young monks and all that, they did nothing. What can they do? They just keep quiet. And the villagers around who support them, they give them the food and all that sort of thing, and probably they are collecting a little bit here and there. So they appeal to us, knowing that probably we have more contact and we might be able to help them, which we will do. And we are sending a big parcel, about 45 robes and other material. Whatever we can have, we can collect here in our monastery. We will certainly send them with great joy and happiness that they have given us an opportunity to do some good. So to perform a good deed. Now, again in the same email, another email appeared following this. And this email says, it is sent by one Kuldeep. I don't know who is this Kuldeep. He has said, look at these monks. He was blaming these monks. He said, look at them, they are keeping quiet, doing nothing about it. They must gang up, he said. They must gang up and then kill about 10 of those communists who perpetrated this heinous crime, gang up and then kill them and learn karate. They only know what is karate business, some martial art. They must learn that, protect themselves, because they are, ahimsa, harmless and meek. That's why people take advantage. They say, no, they must retaliate, they must hate. Now this is the other side of the picture. It is the same thing, people who perpetrated this evil, they also have the same belief. Now the question arose, what is the right approach to this kind of evil practice? The right approach is metta, universal, unselfish love, non-hatred. In the Dhammapada, Bhagavan said, Nahi verena verani sammanti dhakudasanam. Averena cha sammanti esa dhammo sanantano. Not by hatred is hatred ever appeased. By non-hatred alone is hatred appeased and calmed and stilled. Esa dhammo sanantano. This is the eternal law, sanantano dhammo. It is the eternal law that created civilization, that has brought about all the higher values that elevate the human being into the very highest stage of spiritual development, the Buddha. Buddha became Buddha by following these laws. He climbed on the summit state of spiritual perfection and became the teacher of both gods and men. He is the teacher of both divine and human beings. And why? Because of his higher values, the values of universal love, values of non-retaliation, values of peace, values of patience. Now, I will illustrate how these values can be absolutely devastatingly real. Now, in the time of the Buddha, in a city called Kosambi, a very big city indeed in the time of Bhagavan, so there they had built a very nice monastery, and there are lots of monks there. So there was an elder called Tisa who was a resident monk there. Now during this Vasavasa, the rainy season, the devotees brought some chatumadhuram, that means a kind of medicament which the bhikkhus can take in the evening. They don't take anything after the noon. They have only one noon meal and thereafter it is just liquid. So Bhagavan allowed a thing called medicaments, and the chatumadhuram means honey, ghee, jaggery, and some things like that are all boiled together and given to the monks. So some devotee he had made this for the monks, and he came to this Tisa Bhikkhu, to his room, and said, "Whenever sir, please accept it." So he says, "Well, I have no place to keep it, and I have nobody in the form of, say, somebody who can take charge of it and give it to me once in every evening. I am not supposed to hoard things. As a monk, I can't keep anything more than 3 days. I can't keep anything. I am not supposed to hoard. I don't think of tomorrow's food or what is required for tomorrow. No hoarding. So he says, I can't keep, my dear. You have given me so much, and it can go for about a month. What can I do with so much? So he says, you have nobody, no monk, no young monk to have serve you? He said, no. He said, all right, sir, I will come soon. So he went home, which was not very far off, and there he called his son, who was only 7-year-old. So this boy, he says, my dear, would you like to become a monk, a novice monk, and serve an elder, and learn from him and become a great monk, and serve the world with the teachings of Bhagavan? So he said, yes, sure, I will do that. So this man took the boy and asked his wife also. They all said, okay, very nice. Then this boy was taken, and he brought this boy in front of this monk, and he said, sir, may I offer my son to you for monastic life? As a Sangha Dhanam, I am offering it to the Holy Sangha, that he may become one day a great monk, and you train him, he will be your disciple. The monk said, all right, it's very kind of you. So then, that is this story, and this boy was, now the guru, he has to ordain this boy, so he has to cut his hair. And there is a procedure, regular monastic procedure to do that. While cutting the hair, they have to repeat certain words, which amounts to Asubha meditation. Then the body is ultimately rotting all the time. It's decomposing. It looks so nice and so beautiful and is so attractive because we think it is enjoyable. But if you go to the other aspect of the body, it is rotting all the time, decomposing. It smells. The first thing you do in the morning is go and run and wash your face, lest your mouth will smell horrible to everybody. So now, that is the procedure there. There is 5, Kesa, Loma, Nakha, Danta, Tacho, etc. 32 parts of the body are repeated to say that after all the body consists of this, and so we should not be attached. As a monk, we should not be attached to the body, but we should work out our salvation by perfecting our mind. Not that we should neglect the body, no. Keep the body in a healthy state, eat to remain healthy, so that you may perfect your mind and attain to the state of enlightenment, perfection. So, in this procedure, this is a part of it, and as soon as the monk cut his hair, immediately that boy was spiritually transformed. Something happened to him, profoundly changing his whole mind. Spiritual transformation is analogous to, let us say, I will illustrate it. Now, when milk is offered to you, and you can't keep milk more than a day, it will rot. So you turn the milk into butter, into yogurt or curd. That also you can keep at the most a week. So you turn that into ghee or butter. That can last for another 20 days, no more. But when you turn the butter into ghee, it becomes butter oil of some kind, and it can last for 12 years. So, at the previous stages it is not transformed, it is a kind of change, but not amounting to transformation or transmutation, complete a reversal so that it can never rot again. So here, with ghee, it has become completely transformed. That is exactly what happens with the mind. When a person is spiritually transformed, either for a monk, a young monk like this, it is obviously he was spiritually very, very evolved. He was ripe and ready material. He had made patthana, a kind of resolve for many, many lives. By doing everything, all good, he will say, whenever, may I, by the power of this punya karma or this holy life that I live, may I have the privilege to be born in the time when a Buddha appears in the world and live a holy life and become an arhat. Scores of such boys' account we have in our scripture, Tripitaka. Sariputta Bhante had 75 young novice monks, all arhats, all spiritually, totally transformed, and they have become enlightened disciples of the Buddha. This is what happened to this boy. To the great amazement of all. So, he became a man, became a novice monk. So after some time, his guru said, look, we must go and pay our homage at the feet of the Lord. Let us go and worship Bhagavan and, gain some spiritual guidance that our life is lived not only to achieve enlightenment and spiritual perfection, but what we gain in the form of spirituality or perfection. Share it with the world. The best way we can help the world is by giving them truth. The gift of truth, Dhamma dana. So, a bhikkhu, a Buddhist monk, is dedicated to that. He is not dedicated to become a politician or a social worker involved in political activities. No. So, both of them said, yes, Bhante, let us go. So they went, they had to walk for about 4 days from Kosambi to Savanthi. So wherever they had to stay in the night, they went about doing their pindapata, arms round, and walked. On the day, in the evening, they reached some monastery in a village or in a town. They stayed there, and so on. So on the third day, one of the rules of the monastic conduct is that a bhikkhu cannot remain together with an unordained monk. unordained means who is not ordained as a bhikkhu for more than 3 days. So this was the third night. So this monk became very tired, and he said, when they arrived, the duty was of the Samanera was to find a room for the Guru and bring some water and do whatever little service the Guru needed. So he did all that and he was waiting. So when he came to Thera, he says, well, my dear, have you arranged for your little lodging? He said, no, sir, I didn't have the time and what to do. I will stay out where all the upasakas and all that come and stay. He said, look, it's very cold out. It's very troublesome. So never mind, you also share this place, and with me before the sun rises, if we get up early, then we can avoid the violation of the rule. And this monk, now he's an Arhat. He knows every bit of it. So there are this young monk, the Guru, the Tishathera, he was very tired and he slept off. Now, this Shishya, he thought, look here, if I also go to bed, I sleep, and then I miss, then it will be bad. So let me sit down in meditation and spend the night sitting and sleep sitting. And there is a dhutanga, a kind of ascetic practice which monks do even today. They spend the night sitting and doing meditation and also resting. So he did that. So in the morning, somewhere at 4 o'clock in the morning when it's very dark, here, you see, Tishathera gets up and he wanted to call the disciples, so he had a small little fan, you see. So he beat the floor with the fan. He says, come on, get up, my dear, get up. Now this little fan of leaf, somehow, you see, went and hit, instead of the floor, hit the eye of the monk who was sitting there and meditating. So this, as it hit, as it would happen from something of the past, he was paying a heavy, heavy price due to some bad karma that he had done in the past. Even though he had become an Arhat, this very severe evil deed that he did by way of probably killing somebody or destroying life or whatever, now he lost his eye. If he had not been an Arhat, probably it would have been worse. So all he did was close his eye with one hand like that, and he said, he kept on sitting. He said, now get up, my dear, now it is time. So yes, Venerable Sir, and so he went and brought some water here and there, served the Guru with one eye, closed with one hand. And he kept on doing as usual. The Guru knew nothing about it. Then, when he brought the Dantakatham, that is a toothstick to clean the teeth, he gave it with one hand. So he said, my dear, you ought to offer it with two hands, you know that. He said, but Venerable Sir, the other hand is still disengaged. It is not disengaged. It is engaged. What do you mean? Then he told the entire story. Then this Thera simply got so disturbed, he just sat down at his feet and in a crouching, and with his hand like that, he said, oh my dear, do forgive me, be my protector. I have never known that such a thing has happened. I am so sorry, please forgive me. He says, no, Venerable Sir, it is not your fault, nor is it my fault. It is this nature of samsara, the predicament in samsara, all the horrible deeds that we do in the past, we have to pay for it. we can never avoid. Even though we might be spiritually transformed, even then we have to face. Venerable Sir, it is the samsara, samsaric existence, worldly existence, that brings about this predicament of existence. And we are paying for it. Neither you nor I am to be blamed. It is this law of karma which is working itself out. So he was so profoundly moved. He said, why he is saying, this little boy, he's with so much of wisdom in him. So he says, forgive my dear. I am greatly moved. Let us go to Bhagavan straight away. So they started, and they arrived at, this was the last day obviously, arrived after some time, somewhere after the midday, after they went about Pindapata, and then arrived in the midday. Straight away the monk and his disciple went to Buddha. It is kuti. It is known as the Ganga Kutira. So, the Lord knew every bit of it, what has happened. And he was all waiting for them to come to him. So they came and worshipped. And the monk, the first thing he did, he said, Bhagavan, I am absolutely amazed that this young novice monk has so much of wisdom. He has surpassed everything that I have ever known in my life. He said, what is that? There he gave the whole story. I wanted to wake him up, so with that little fan, I just hit the floor. Instead of that he jumped up and hit his eye. And he just lost his one eye. He says, monk. And there he repeated the Gatha. It is very, very inspiring indeed, this Gatha. I am going to recite this. Bhagavan said, Santam tasya manang hoti, santa vacha sakam macha, sammadanja vimuttasya upasantasya tadino. The peaceable one, having achieved the very height of spiritual perfection, tadino, the wise and tranquil one. He is always calm in his thought, ever calm in his speech, and indeed calm indeed. Because he truly knowing the nature of samsara and how the law of karma works out all that happens in worldly existence. So he says there are these two chakka. Chakka means the two wheels. One is the wheel of karma that brings about samsaric existence, recurring existence, life after life, life after life. And in the predicament of life, we commit all kinds of things, and then we have to pay for it. The other is dharma chakra, the wheel that frees us from the sufferings of worldly existence. And now he has attained that state, my dear. He is the tranquil one. He is the noble one. And when this young Guru heard this Dhamma Desana, and Buddha gave it Dhamma Desana, he was so profoundly moved. He too underwent spiritual transformation. He was not a Arhat at all. He was not even a Sotapanna. He had not even entered the supermundane or the transmundane state of an Arhat or an Arya. Now he achieved the Sotapanna Phala. He entered into the state of one who is a Sota Apan. This stream entrance, this stream that leads directly to Nibbana. And such a being is also transformed spiritually. So now this happened. Now just imagine this story. This monk said he never became angry, Bhagavan. He never wanted to retaliate. He showed no emotion. He never showed anything. Though he was hurt so profoundly, And I didn't know that it happened. And I didn't want to do either. It just happened. This kind of situation happened in the world. So, we Buddhist monks are trained to be patient, to train ourselves in enduring patience. Khanti paramang tapoti tikha. Enduring patience is the highest form of tapasya. So, when they burned this house, this dormitory of the young monks and the no monk went and even found fault or even, complained to anybody. They just suffered. They under the forbearance. This is what these monks did. All they did was send in email everywhere. And now, so many people everywhere, I am sure, are going to, they are going to respond in a very positive way. We are trying to do a little bit in a very humble way, in our own small way. So this is the power of metta. Metta begins with patience, with endurance, with forgiveness, with forbearance, not with retaliation. This Kuldeep of a gentleman, what a wonderful solution he has given. Go learn karate. Kill 10 of them. Baba, wonderful. Now if this guidance is taken seriously by people, what will happen? India will become another Iraq, another Baghdad. The tragedy of Baghdad will occur everywhere in India. We are experiencing even now enough of violence, enough of suffering. And why? Because of hatred, because of the belief in hate, that we can solve human problem by, by violence and by believing in force. No. So the Buddha's approach is the approach of loving kindness. He said, so this monk said, Bhagavan told, look here, promote metta, universalize this message of love. It is in situation like this that we should carry on. Suppose, my dears, all of you who are seated here to hear the Dhamma, if all of you cultivate your hearts, fill your heart, suffuse your heart with the message of loving kindness, with the message of forbearance and tolerance, all these violent things can absolutely disappear in no time. People, they hear, in the all kinds of media exposure. Media people project it in such a way that they rouse them in a way that they begin to hate also. Hate can never cease by hatred. It can cease only by non-hatred, which means patience, forbearance, forgiveness. That is universalization of metta, universal love. This is just one instance that I have quoted. There are ever so many. The sutta gives an example. Mata yatha niyam puttam, ayusa eka puttam anurakhi. Even as a mother, even by sacrificing her own life, protects her son, her only son. Even so, cultivate a heart, cultivate a mind of universal love. Evampi, you see, throughout the world, whether you are walking, standing, lying, at all times develop this mindfulness of loving kindness. So, universalization of our consciousness by practicing loving kindness, by refraining from any kind of wrong thought, hateful thought, but forgiveness, and by promoting the well-being and happiness of all, irrespective of any difference, religious difference, gender difference, whatever, any kind of difference, regardless of all that, towards everybody equally, you spread this thought of universal love. Today we'll complete this, we'll carry on further how this metta can become also a vipassana, a tool for developing insight into ultimate reality. We plus persona. Penetrate right through the reality of everything that you experience around you in this world. So how that can be developed, that is the other part of the sutta, we will deal with that. May the blessings of Bhagavan Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha surround your lives with wisdom and well-being. May the message of Bhagavan suffuse your hearts with abundant metta, abundant loving kindness. May you all be happy. Sukhino bhavantu.